The JSE looks set to start to mixed global markets this morning, with investors still digesting last week's developments. Markets remain concerned about the prospects of recession in the United States and geopolitical risks with China. Karl Gevers is an independent market analyst, and he joins us now to take a look at how exactly we're faring this morning. How did we open? Morning, Karl.
Good morning, Dudu. Yeah, the local market is marginally up this morning. Also having outperformed global peers on Friday, mainly on the back of resources and financials. But I think this week, will certainly be dependent on what the US inflation number looks like. That is one of the headlines on the economic calendar. The expectation there is for a slight decline in inflation from the 9.1 that we saw in June to 8.7 in July. That certainly will set the trend. The main thing is, again, the interest rate hiking cycle. And we saw the US non-farm payroll numbers that were quite solid on Friday. That certainly heightened the likelihood of the Fed continuing its aggressive tightening policy, which will keep markets under pressure.
Oil prices are attempting to recover from last week's 10% collapse. Talk us through that early trade performance.
Yeah, so last week the oil price did come down to below $93 per barrel. Currently it has recovered to just over 95.25 cents per barrel. The price dropped mainly due to the concerns on economic growth, global economic growth. And again, this is linked to the interest rate hiking cycle that's putting pressure on growth. The recovery is on the back of just the supply constraints, the market focusing on that, and a lot of producers actually reporting in the next couple of weeks, which will give a bit more color on the outlook of the market. But certainly quite a big battle there between supply and demand, currently the supply side being a bit of a problem.
Turkish company Karl Powership is looking to offer South Africa some reprieve in the form of some 1,200 megawatts of power. However, they can't shake off concerns on environmental problems around their supply of power to South Africa. What's happening there?
Yeah, so, the Karl Powership did win a tender to supply, I think it's about 1,200 megawatts of electricity into the grid, and they were supposed to start producing, I think, or supplying end of this month. However, environmental activists did lodge complaints about the impact of fishing and like you said, the environmental impact, the greenhouse gas emissions and so on, which Karl Powership appealed, but that appeal has failed. They do, however, have the opportunity to correct some of the perceived gaps in their application. But for now, the appeal has been dismissed, and they'll have to continue working on that. They do, indicate that they're still committed to working on resolving the South African electricity problem. So hopefully there can be a resolution there.
The Air Services Licensing Council has suspended low-cost carrier Mango's licenses. Why?
Yeah, so based on the Act, there has to be compliance, and based on this non-compliance, it's been Mango and also ComAir that have had their licenses, withdrawn or suspended for 2 years. Both of these entities are, as we know, either in liquidation process for ComAir, and Mango in a business rescue situation. So I think certainly this will make it a bit more difficult for those entities, for Mango and ComAir, to attract potential investment and bail them out. Certainly it doesn't bode well for competitors coming back into the market and helping. We've seen the air ticket prices being quite elevated given the lack of competition there, or lack of supply. So I think it's probably another stumbling block for those entities to come back to the market.
Karl Gevers is an independent market analyst. Thank you.